Hello fellow Tamriel creatures, my name is Archery and I'm here with my very first commentary video, Warrior Initiation. First, however, I'd like to point out an issue. English is not my native language and therefore I might stumble occasionally with my pronunciation. Hopefully this won't violate anyone's ears during this clip. So, this video will demonstrate the simplest method to level up 4 basic skills: block, heavy armor, restoration and finally archery. My main focus will be block, heavy armor and restoration, in other words, defensive skills. Leveling up the offensive skills requires nothing more than using them, and I won't include that in this clip. And altogether, with better defensive skills you are more able to do so. I'll be playing as a dark elf since that's my personal predilection. The best race for warrior class is orc, since orc has the best bonuses in combat skills. However, these bonuses are rather easily evened with any other race. It only requires a little more time and effort. Now, let's get started. The first thing to start with is the Warrior Guardian Stone. Activating this stone will grant you a 20% bonus for gaining points for the related skills: one-handed, two-handed, block, heavy armor, archery and smithing. This way it's faster to level up these specific skills, as well as faster general leveling while using these skills. Next you need a full set of heavy armor. While most of the equipment are easily found during the first hour of the game, you still might not have them all. For example, I don't have an armor piece nor helmet. I will just quickly obtain these items by buying the helmet and smithing the armor.
Helmets, pretty much anything to suit your needs.
With a full set of heavy armor, you will gain points for it more efficiently. After this, you need to choose the weapon class to start with: one-handed or two-handed. I prefer quicker attacks with one-handed, so that's what I'll be using here. And I highly recommend to use the hotkeys for your main weapon, shield if you use one, restoration and other favorite items and magic. This will make your overall gaming experience much more pleasant when you don't have to jump into the favorites menu all the time. Now that you have an armor, a weapon and a shield if you use one, along with the healing spell that's available for all races in the beginning of the game, it's time to start using them. This method is a very simple way to increase block, restoration and heavy armor. Find enemies, block their attacks and heal yourself. During this process you will gain points for blocking and restoration. Heavy armor will get higher when you get hit by the enemy without blocking the attack. The amount of damage you block or receive from the enemy will determine the amount of points given to that specific skill. So if the enemy attacks you with a power attack and you block it, it will give you more points for block than a normal, weaker swing attack from the enemy. Next to the initial leveling process, during the first 10 levels raise your health and magicka in turns. I'll start with health here. In order to be able to use this method, the first perk you need is Novice Restoration. This way you will be able to heal yourself much more efficiently. Raising your magicka is required for this healing, and trust me, you will be healing yourself a lot. Now you will simply repeat this process until you reach the next level. When this happens, increase either health or magicka, whichever is in turn. The second perk must be either for block or heavy armor. The target set here is to achieve such a point that you can block and resist a power attack of a giant. This is only because it's the most powerful attack easily available, and sparring with a giant is the next step in this method. Reaching that block and heavy armor setup with the right perks will take at least 45 minutes to 1 hour, depending on how well you manage this method.
You're a fool!
Increasing your heavy armor is very simple. Let the enemy hit you freely. This will affect directly the heavy armor skill, and wearing a full heavy armor set and fighting 2 enemies at the same time will speed up this process. As I said before, the amount of damage received will determine the amount of points given to the skill. Just remember one very important thing which cannot be underlined too much. Save every minute while doing this method. You will die many times, that's guaranteed, and if you have to go back to a save file from more than a few minutes ago, you will be in agony repeating the process all over again. The desired level of block and heavy armor is 2 perks for both. Those are the Sealed Wall and Juggernaut perks. The second rank for those perks in both skills require a skill level of 20, and since you will also need the Novice Restoration perk and a health level of 130, it will take at least level 6 to get there.
Damn you!
The closest giant camp is found right north from Bleak Falls Barrow. It's easy to find, just follow the map marker in your compass. From here on, the process is faster, yet more difficult. Since a giant will drain most of your health with only 1 power attack, you will need to avoid them correctly while restoring your health. Since a giant is fairly slow with his attacks and general movement, this will be quite easy. And because you will be using the healing spell more often, you will run out of magicka rather quickly. This why it's a good idea to scope the area well enough before sparring with a giant, so you can escape to a point where they cannot reach you. This can be some bigger rock or similar spot. Then you simply wait there until your magicka is restored and repeat the sparring part. One thing to remember when you start this tango with giants, you will need to kill them at some point anyway, and it's easier to tango with only 1 giant. It takes 2 to tango, so I recommend getting rid of the other one at some point. This action will require some accurate movement while avoiding their attacks. You can always combine the 2, killing the other one and escaping to heal yourself. However, it's possible to kill the other one without being hit at all. No need to block either, since you are simply avoiding the attacks. After this is done, it's much easier to focus on the leveling process with only one giant. There are two versions of Giant's power attack. The first one is when he is chasing you and he will perform the over-the-shoulder power swing with his club. The other one is when you get very close to him and he will try to stomp on you. To level up your heavy armor, let the giant hit you freely, but make sure it's not the power attack. You won't be able to resist the power attack yet at this level of heavy armor. So just circle around a rock and approach the giant always from your right side, fairly close to him. This way you'll be pretty sure that he will use the swing attack on you with either his left hand or the club in his right hand, which you are able to resist. This will gain you a good amount of points for heavy armor. And then, lastly, there is the easy way to increase your archery. This method is also best done with giants and mammoths. Locate a place where they are unable to reach you and fire away. The fact that they will either hide from you if they cannot reach you, or they will simply walk away from you until they are out of range, forces you to come out into the open, so they will once again try to attack you. Just fire at them, jump available, fire while they approach, and just before they reach you, get back to the safe spot. First you need is to make sure you have enough arrows with you, especially for mammoths, since you won't be able to flee. Once again, you must kill them all to complete this method. I did not have enough arrows in this video, but then again, I'm only demonstrating this method. Just ignore my arrow count. Giants, and especially mammoths, have a pretty high health value, gaining you a lot of points for archery, as long as you have enough arrows. And for example, the nearby location, Bleakwind Basin, is a great place for this practice. In the middle of that camp, there are stone pillars for you to jump on, and therefore easily exploit this method. And of course, all of these previous tactics and methods in this video can also be applied with destruction magic and light armor in many ways. Altogether, the basic idea is still the same. So, there you have it. The simplest way to increase the basic skills during the first 10 levels. I truly hope you have enjoyed this video and did find it at least in some form entertaining, helpful and informative. And please share this video with anyone you might think could find it such as well. Thank you Bethesda Softworks and Bethesda Game Studios for this amazing game. And thank you for watching. My name is Orc-Idea and I'm quite done with this video. Check out my channel for more Skyrim videos.